residents of north-central Oklahoma are beginning the arduous task of clearing debris and assessing structural damage today after a violent supercell thunderstorm unleashed a confirmed tornado and destructive, gorilla-sized hail on Ponca City and the surrounding County area late Friday evening. The storm, which meteorologists had been tracking since it developed along a dry line near the Texas-Oklahoma border, intensified rapidly as it entered the high-moisture environment of the Arkansas River Valley. By 6:50 p.m. Central Daylight Time, the National Weather Service, NWS in Norman, issued a tornado warning, citing a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado on the ground. The atmospheric setup on April 17th was a textbook scenario for severe weather in Tornado Alley. High instability, CAPE, combined with intense vertical wind shear created a rotating updraft within a massive supercell. As the storm approached Ponca City from the west, witnesses described a wall of debris and a darkening sky that turned an eerie shade of bruised green, a classic sign of heavy hail core suspension. At approximately 7:05 p.m., the tornado touched down near the western outskirts of the city, moving southeast toward Caw Lake. While the NWS damage assessment teams are still in the field, preliminary data suggests the tornado maintained a path of several miles. "We saw the debris ball on radar clearly," said a local meteorologist. The correlation coefficient dropped significantly, indicating that the storm was lofting non-meteorological objects, roofing material, branches, and fence parts, into the air. While the tornado caused localized structural devastation, the broader economic impact may stem from the accompanying hail. Reports from downtown Ponca City and residential neighborhoods describe hailstones ranging from the size of golf balls to baseballs, approximately 2.75 inches in diameter. The sheer velocity of the ice shattered windshields, dented hundreds of vehicles at local dealerships, and shredded the siding of homes. "It sounded like a rhythmic gunshot against the roof," said Sarah Jenkins, a resident on the city's north side. "By the time it stopped, my backyard looked like it was covered in white boulders. Every window on the west side of our house is gone." As of Saturday morning, the following impacts have been confirmed by County Emergency Management. Over 40 homes sustained significant roof damage, with several losing structural integrity in the West End neighborhoods. Numerous power lines were snapped, leaving approximately 4,500 residents without electricity at the peak of the storm. Local utility crews worked through the night, and as of this morning, power has been restored to 80% of the affected area. The storm's path moved directly over portions of Caw Lake, causing substantial damage to boat docks and several watercraft. High winds flipped unsecured trailers near the shoreline. Local wheat farmers expressed concern over crop loss, as the heavy hail and torrential rain flattened fields that were nearing a critical growth stage. Despite the visual intensity of the tornado, which was captured in high definition by storm chasers and news helicopters like KOCO5's Michael Armstrong, city officials have confirmed that there were no fatalities and only minor injuries reported. "This is a testament to the early warning systems and the preparedness of our citizens," said the Ponca City Emergency Management Director. "People took the sirens seriously. They moved to interior rooms and storm shelters. When you have a tornado moving through a populated area at dusk, the outcome could have been much darker." The American Red Cross has set up a temporary resource center at a local community church to assist those whose homes are currently uninhabitable. Volunteers are distributing tarps, bottled water, and hot meals. Governor Kevin Stitt is expected to survey the damage later this week to determine if the scale of destruction warrants a state disaster declaration, which would unlock emergency funding for infrastructure repair. With Oklahoma currently in the peak of its secondary severe weather season, meteorologists warn that the atmospheric pattern remains active. Another trough is expected to move through the Central Plains by mid-week, bringing the potential for more thunderstorms. For now, the sound of chainsaws and the sight of blue tarps define the skyline of Ponca City. While the buildings are battered and the cars are dented, the spirit of this north-central Oklahoma community remains unbroken. A series of violent supercell thunderstorms tore across the state, unleashing a barrage of ice stones that transformed residential streets into debris fields and left thousands of residents grappling with millions of dollars in property damage. The meteorological setup was a textbook nightmare for emergency management officials. A potent dryline, a boundary separating moist air from the Gulf of Mexico and dry air from the desert southwest, clashed with a powerful cold front moving in from the Rockies. The resulting atmospheric instability created an environment where updrafts reached speeds of over 100 miles per hour. In these conditions, water droplets are lofted high into the freezing layers of the atmosphere, coating small particles of dust or ice in successive layers of freezing water. On Friday night, these ice factories worked overtime. In towns like Jet, Ardmore, and Bartlesville, the updrafts were so strong they supported the weight of hailstones until they grew to the size of softballs and, in some extreme cases, grapefruit. In Ardmore, the sound was described by locals not as rain, but as falling bricks. Initial reports from the National Weather Service, NWS, confirmed hailstones measuring a staggering 5 inches in diameter. I've lived in Oklahoma for 40 years, and I've never heard anything like it, said Sarah Jenkins, a resident of Northern Tulsa. It wasn't just the size, it was the velocity. It sounded like someone was standing on my roof with a sledgehammer. By the time it stopped, my backyard looked like it was covered in jagged white rocks. In Bartlesville, the damage was catastrophic for local car dealerships. Hundreds of new vehicles were left with shattered windshields and bodywork that resembled the surface of the moon. Insurance adjusters expect this single event to rank among the costliest hailstorms in the state's recent history. Meteorologists explain that Oklahoma's geography makes it a global epicenter for large hail. To produce ice larger than 2 inches, a storm needs 3 things. High instability, CAPE. Massive amounts of energy to fuel rising air. To tilt the storm, allowing the hail to grow without falling back through the updraft too quickly. A relatively low freezing level, so the ice doesn't melt significantly before hitting the ground. During this most recent outbreak, all 3 factors peaked simultaneously over the I-35 corridor. The immediate aftermath of a hailstorm is often followed by what experts call the second disaster, the rush for repairs. With thousands of roofs compromised across the Oklahoma City and Tulsa metro areas, local contractors are bracing for a multi-year recovery process. We are seeing a massive spike in claims for roof replacements, window repairs, and dent removals, says Michael Vance, an insurance consultant. The challenge now is the supply chain. Getting enough high-quality shingles and glass to meet this sudden demand will be a logistical hurdle. State officials have issued warnings to homeowners to be wary of storm chasers, unlicensed out-of-state contractors who descend on disaster zones to offer quick fixes, often disappearing before the work is completed, or doing substandard repairs. While the 2026 storms were severe, they join a long list of legendary Oklahoma ice events. Meteorologists are currently analyzing samples from Gotebo and Lamont to see if any stones surpass the 2011 record of 6 inches in diameter. The frequency of these giant hail events, hail larger than 2 inches, appears to be shifting. New research suggests that while the total number of stormy days might not be increasing, the intensity of the individual storms is rising, leading to larger hail and more destructive wind gusts. Meanwhile, a series of violent supercell thunderstorms tore across northern and northeastern Arkansas late Thursday and Friday, leaving a trail of destruction characterized by giant hail, shattered windshields, and significant agricultural losses. The National Weather Service, NWS, has confirmed multiple reports of hail ranging from the size of quarters to golf balls, with some isolated areas reporting stones nearly the size of baseballs. The atmospheric setup began early Thursday as a potent low-pressure system collided with an unstable, moisture-rich air mass surging from the Gulf of Mexico. By late afternoon, the atmosphere over the Ozarks became explosive, according to lead meteorologists. We saw classic supercell structures forming rapidly, said a representative from the NWS Little Rock office. The updrafts within these storms were powerful enough to suspend heavy ice pellets for extended periods, allowing them to grow to dangerous proportions before gravity finally pulled them to the ground. While the storm's path was wide, Clay County and Fulton County bore the brunt of the ice bombardment. Residents reported a deafening roar as hail the size of golf balls, 1.75 inches, pelted residential areas. Local law enforcement confirmed that dozens of patrol vehicles sustained body damage and cracked light bars. Verified reports of ping-pong to half-dollar-sized hail, 1.25 to 1.50 inches, were recorded. In Thayer, the storm lasted nearly 15 minutes, accumulating enough ice to make roads resemble a winter landscape in mid-April. Smaller but high-velocity hail, quarter-sized, stripped leaves from trees and damaged early-season crops, sparking concerns among the local farming community. The financial toll is expected to be staggering. Insurance adjusters are already flooding the region as claims for roof replacements and totaled vehicles skyrocket. Car dealerships in the path of the storm reported hundreds of vehicles with dimpled hoods and shattered rear windows. For individual owners without comprehensive insurance, the cost of repair could reach thousands of dollars per household. Roofing experts warn that even hail that didn't penetrate the shingles might have compromised the structural integrity of homes. Bruised shingles often lead to leaks months later if not addressed immediately. Arkansas's poultry and crop sectors are under assessment. High-velocity ice can destroy greenhouses and injure livestock left in open pastures. Arkansas Governor's Office issued a reminder for residents to stay weather-aware as the spring severe weather season reaches its peak. Emergency management teams have been deployed to clear debris from major highways where fallen branches, brought down by the weight of the ice and wind, blocked transit. The NWS Storm Prediction Center, SPC, warns that the threat is not over. A secondary cold front is expected to sweep through central and eastern Arkansas over the weekend. While the primary threat may shift toward damaging straight-line winds and isolated tornadoes, the potential for large to very large hail remains a significant concern for the Delta region. As Arkansas recovers from this icy onslaught, the resilience of its communities is on full display. Neighbors are seen helping each other tarp damaged roofs, a testament to the natural spirit in the face of nature's fury. Meanwhile, residents of the Rose City were jolted by the deafening sound of ice hitting rooftops and pavement on Saturday morning, April 18, 2026, as a violent, severe thunderstorm swept through East Texas. The storm, part of a volatile cold front pushing through the state, brought high-velocity hail and damaging winds, leading to widespread reports of property damage and power outages. The severe weather event began to escalate around 9 a.m., when the National Weather Service, NWS, issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Smith, Wood, Upshur, and Cherokee counties. By 9:15 a.m., the storm was directly over Tyler, unleashing a barrage of hail that caught many commuters and residents by surprise. Social media was quickly flooded with videos showing heavy hail falling across various parts of the city. Local news outlets, including KLTV7, captured footage of the intense ice fall, which varied in size from small marbles to larger, more damaging stones. Meteorologists and local spotters reported a range of hail sizes as the supercell moved eastward. 1 inch, quarter-sized, hail reported in the heart of Tyler, creating a barrage effect that damaged vehicle paint and cracked windshields. Marble to pea-sized hail common across the broader East Texas area, with intense pouring rain reducing visibility to near zero. Earlier in the week and during the peak of the storm, some areas in the region were warned of hail up to 2 inches in diameter, capable of significant structural damage. The storm didn't just bring ice, it was accompanied by 60 miles per hour wind gusts, which combined with the hail led to downed trees and power lines. Hundreds of vehicles parked outdoors sustained dimple damage and shattered rear windows. Local body shops are expected to see a surge in appointments over the coming weeks. Homeowners in South and West Tyler reported shredded window screens and damaged roof shingles. Roofing experts advise immediate inspections to prevent long-term water damage. The combination of wind and hail caused localized power failures as branches fell onto distribution lines, leaving several neighborhoods in the dark for hours. The storm was triggered by a powerful cold front that brought a significant temperature drop to the region. While the immediate threat to Tyler has passed as the system moves toward the northeast, the NWS remains on high alert for additional developments. This system is part of a larger severe weather outbreak that has already impacted the Midwest and Plains, noted a meteorologist from the NWS Shreveport office. Residents should remain weather aware as unstable conditions persist through the weekend.